to Ryn Castle. Today we'll be talking about dying rich. See you in the next part. Sometimes I get comments on my channel along the lines, I don't want to end up as the richest guy on the graveyard. Why all this hustle? You will end up as the richest guy on the graveyard. And what for? You can't take your wealth to the grave. What do you need all that wealth, all that money for? And these comments come from major misunderstanding what life and what business is about. These comments are short-sighted, they are egoistic and egocentric. I usually answer to these comments, I assume you want to become the poorest person in the graveyard, right? If you think along these lines, it means you think about consumption, you think about consuming all the wealth you have accumulated or somebody has accumulated. But life and business, it's not about consuming, it's about creating. And rich people are the people who have created a lot in their lives and not the ones who have consumed a lot in their lives. Here, an example, the guy who built this castle. This is a Teutonic Castle in Ryn in Poland. This guy has created this castle, and when he died, he was the richest guy on the graveyard. And somebody would say, what for did he do all that hustle to build that castle, all that money spent on that, and all that work and so on and so on. Of course, he didn't build it himself. He needed cooperation, he needed support, he needed other people to build it with him and for him. So you would say, why did he invest all that money? He couldn't take that castle into his grave. But he, during the life, as long as he lived, he could use that castle, and then he left that castle to the next generations. And until today, 600 years later, we are enjoying this castle. There is a great hotel in this castle and a restaurant, and people are coming here and spending great time using that property that he spent half of his life building. And the same is in business. Rich people, they are not rich because they have consumed a lot, right? No, they are rich because they have built great companies, usually great companies, but also maybe great properties, a lot of properties. Every entrepreneur in my book, The $1 Billion Secret, have built a great company and maybe developed some properties, some real estate properties. And that's where his wealth is in. So if they die, of course they enjoy or they use these properties, they use these companies, but if they die, they will stay for the next generations, for their descendants, for their families, maybe for the kids, grandkids, but also for the humanity. Everything that they have created, this will sustain, this will have some duration, maybe not forever, but for some time, and the better you set it up, the longer it will stay. This castle is here since 1377, so around 650 years, right? Of course, it was destroyed many times, it was burnt many times, but it was re-erected every time. So it is a landmark. Once it was there, it stayed in the consciousness of the people around there, and even when it was destroyed, it was re-elected again. And today, after the Second World War, it went into ruin more and more. And just 20 years ago, new owners bought this property and developed it into a wonderful 4-star hotel with a conference center, just a wonderful complex. And you see, if they die, you could say, what for did they do it? They can't take it into the grave, but this property will stay with us and we will enjoy it. And even if you suspect these rich people, the capitalists, of doing it for themselves and not for the humanity, after their death it will stay for humanity, it will stay for the future generations, and the wealth once created will stay with us for a long time. I wonder what you think about these topics. What is your experience? What are your thoughts? Leave your comment below this video. Give me a thumb up if you like this video, of course thumb down if you haven't. Share this video with your loved ones, with your friends. One day they will thank you for that. I talk here about achieving great impossible goals in your life, about business, about the best entrepreneurs in our world, how the self-made billionaires think and act. I talk here also about money, about economy, about doing great things in your life. So if you like this video, you will certainly like my other videos. I invite you to watch them. That's it for today. I wish you a fantastic day. Let's do something extraordinary today.